Hello guys, and welcome back to my channel. This is Zazi Graphics. In this video I'll be teaching you how you can create this 3D pop-out image in Pixellab. I'll be doing a bit of manipulation here, so just stick on with it. Now if you're joining me for the first time, please hit the subscribe button. We're almost at 800. Thank you previous subscribers, such appreciate you guys. So we are up and running. So this design is very easy. So let's just watch how I did it. So the first thing I'll be doing is I'll be bringing out this. So this is just a design which you can also do yourself. It's a simple design you can do yourself. It's just comprises of we just having let me have my stroke, reduce the opacity, just select this side, then let the stroke be in white, the stroke color being white. So let me move this here. So the remaining one, you can just also create another shape and do a bit of writing there, so it's not something difficult. Alright, it's not something difficult, it's just something like this. All the original design I did was just to add some few writings there with blue letter, so it's not difficult. So the next thing I'll be doing here is I'll just be bringing this one, I'll just be adding, I'll just put this one here, I'll just tap on it. So the next thing I'll just click on come to draw, increase this blur, increase the pen, click black, just tap on it once. Okay, so we'll just draw this one here, drag this one here, so we'll position this one here. Alright, so now then we'll just come here and reduce the opacity to 50. We can reduce to 45. Okay, just leave it here like this. 42 is still okay. So I'm just thinking of probably should we just increase the size of this a bit. Let's just position it at the center. So we'll lock it now. It's now appearing as if it's just floating on the air. Right, so the next thing is this guy. So bring this one to the front. So I'll just increase the size of my model. So I'll just position this one here. Now just looking at it, it's kind of looking cool already, but however we'll click on with this image, we'll reduce the opacity. Now it's already reduced, then I'll come to max, I will enable it, then I'll click on out. Okay, so I'll just do that, then I'll enable. You can see it is now fixed to, so I'll still come here, click on the image again. Now I'm seeing a bit of mistake somewhere around, then I'll come to max. Now that I just moved it that way, now we'll just zoom in. You can see there is okay, it's quite okay like this. So the next thing is just to lock this guy. We don't want to tamper with it again, we don't want to tamper with it, so we just come here and increase the opacity back. So click back on it and voila, we having this. So the next thing is I'll bring the image of this guy. So you can just bring the image, click on OK. Well, let's come here and just position it like this. So since it is flipped, so I can just like okay, so we'll do the same thing to it, we'll just apply the same thing to it. Let's apply the same effect to it. All we just need to do is reduce the opacity. Okay, so the reason we are reducing the opacity so is going to show us how we can can choose, so I'll enable it. I'll make sure it is out. Okay, so I'll position it this way. The reason we are reducing the opacity so we can actually see where we are adjusting. So I'll just stamp out this one here. So then I'll just flip this one. So you just need to play with your max skin tool. Now the max tool is very interesting tool. If you do logo design using Pixellab, or you can actually master Pixellab logo designs, you must know how to use the max tool and the bezel tool. Okay, so I have this here. Okay, so let's see if I increase the opacity. Let's just manage this. You can see some part of that edge is still showing, but kind of like a perfectionist tool. So I'll come to max tool, click on this guy here. So however, it is still this guy, this one. So I'll just make this one like this. Now I see need of actually bringing this guy down a bit. Okay, so we'll just like go back to the max tool. Now whenever I'm doing some designs that are actually taking my time, for example, you can see that this place is not that kind of smooth. Whenever I'm doing something that is really taking my time, all I just come to draw. Okay, so I'm just not necessary draw. I just come to shape. And I can also come to that draw. I just reduce the opacity. Okay, so I'll just merge these two together. When I merge the two together, you'll see how it's gonna be. So you can see now it's now merged. All I just need to I'll just easily bypass and get the kind of result I want. Now I don't have time to be stressing myself. No, the aim is just to voila. So you see, so I just give you how I did. You can see how you can just easily bypass all those stress. Now, so another thing you'll be doing is I will just come to this guy. Let me lock this one. Actually, when I did it first, I didn't do that to just raise that side, just because I don't want to spend too much time trying to just adjust. So I position this one somewhere around this guy here. You know, when you're working on either when you're working on brand identity, see, when you're actually working on a UX design. So the next thing is come to eraser. Just put this guy here. Just make sure it's at the center, very center. Then just position the guy here and okay, so we'll just position it here like this. Now it's not spreading, but it's not okay. We'll just leave it like this. We'll just stick with it like this. Now it's kind of like the blending, the way it's blending. I don't want to make it. You can see some part of this this side here. So that's the essence of what so okay, so that's for this. Okay, it's still reflecting, so we just want to erase that part. Okay, so now I have this one here. Okay, so I'll just stick with it like this. Then you can still just reduce our opacity. It's not until you just zoom out before you can reduce your opacity if you don't want it to be too obvious. Okay, just set it at 15. It's quite okay. So however, this one I'm going to copy it. I'm going to copy this one. Just click on back on zoom to reduce the size. Position this one at the back of this guy's head. Then move this one here. Just move it here and okay, so we have this guy here. So the next thing, we just send it to the back. Now it's not reflecting, we'll send it on top of this board. Okay, so the next thing is, let me just come here. We will just go and reduce the opacity. Now as if it's just going to act like the reflection of the head that is reflecting on the back of that board. Now you can see we already have our image, so you can just come here and save as ultra. So it is saved. So I'll just go to this my Photoshop Express app. Just the reason I'm actually bringing it to Photoshop Express, just to add like some popping out, just to pop out the image. So I'll come to adjust, I'll come to full, I'll click on full, so I'll click on adjust, then I'll just add a bit of clarity to, I'll make it about 30. So that's what I've been using for my brand. Then sharpening maybe about 15. Then these well 10, but for this image I may not want to make it 10, so contrast should just be about 15. Then I'll have to just increase the shadows because I'm seeing some dark spots which okay, so I have the shadows here. So the next thing, I'll just come to vibrance and I'll just increase my vibrance to about 15. So okay, you can see this is before, this is after. I can just, it has popped out some of the details. Okay, now this particular one that we used as this our background, this floating, this one, I mean this one, this guy here, I think you should just, in case you're doing your own, you can still come here and reduce the opacity again to about 20. Now because you don't want it to be showing too much, just as it's showing here, you can see it's too much here, even though we use 50. So you can just come here and click on save. When you click on this save to gallery, is going to save, and I'm not doing that because I already have it. Alright, so that's all for this particular video. We'll see you in the next one. Don't forget to subscribe, please.